Hi guys, welcome back to Goodbye Greens. I'm Alicia and this is week 2 of Cold Treats Month. Today we are going to be making some homemade ice cream, carrot cake ice cream to be more exact. Now the carrot ends up lending a really nice subtle sweet flavor. I actually roast the carrots first before I make the carrot puree. This way kind of the natural sugars really caramelize in the oven. I do also add a little bit of maple syrup. You can certainly feel free to leave it out, especially if you want to make this as more of like a very strict paleo type of recipe, but usually a little bit of the maple syrup ends up lending a really nice flavor and kind of making it, I don't know, giving it just that little extra something. So for the ingredients, we definitely have some pureed carrot, coconut milk, very important. We have a couple of eggs. Now this is maple syrup. This is just raw, 100% pure grade A maple syrup. Again, if you are trying to stay away from any added sugar, you know, you can leave that out. Some cinnamon and vanilla. And then I bought these, I don't know, a few months ago. They're whole nutmeg. I don't know what you call them. Just whole nutmeg. I don't know if they're like a pod or something, but we're gonna grate a little bit of this. Fresh nutmeg is awesome. And then you know that I can't make a dessert without a little bit of fleur de sel. So first thing we're going to make is the custard type ice cream base, and that we are going to warm up the coconut milk and then kind of temper the egg so that we can cook the egg so you're not having raw egg in your ice cream. And then we're going to puree everything, pop it into the fridge to fully cool, and then we can put it into our ice cream maker. So let's make the base. Okay, so I've cracked 2 of our eggs into a measuring cup. Now this is a pretty large measuring cup. It's almost like a measuring bowl. And then I took our can of coconut milk and I just opened it and put it right into a saucepan and then simmered this until little tiny bubbles kind of started to form right around the side, and then turned off the heat. Now the reason why we want this to be nice and warm is we want to temper the egg yolks and we want to slightly cook the egg yolks so that they're not raw. And also so that it can help really melt our maple syrup to make sure that it doesn't have like a grainy texture. So what we're gonna do first is pour in our maple syrup. Now you can use anywhere from none of this at all to, I usually use just under 2 tablespoons worth. I don't use a ton because you are gonna get a little bit of sweetness from the carrots. So there's some maple syrup. We're gonna add some cinnamon. And some vanilla. And then we'll add just a pinch of our fleur de sel. And then just a few grates of the nutmeg. You can certainly use nutmeg that you buy in the store, or you can leave the nutmeg out if you want, but I usually just throw in just probably 5 or 7 grates of that. So we can whisk all this together. And then we are going to slowly stream in the coconut milk. Now you want to do this incredibly slowly. Let me see if I can do it this way. You want to do this very slowly in the beginning because you don't want to make the egg yolks start, you know, turning to like scrambled eggs. You want to bring the heat and temperature up of them, but you don't want to have like egg yolk chunks in it. So I usually just add a little bit and then whisk, add a little bit more, wait and whisk. And then once you've done about half of the mixture, you can pretty much add the whole rest of the coconut milk in and just whisk it until it's very well combined. Okay, so we can kind of move this over to the side. Let me bring my food processor in. Now I've noticed using a food processor is usually the best thing to get a really smooth, creamy consistency. So this is my pureed carrots. We're gonna add those in. And the pureed carrots, what I did is roasted the carrots in the oven until they were incredibly soft and then pureed them in a food processor. So we can add in our coconut milk mixture. I sometimes find it easier if I just add half of it in, start pureeing this, and then add, kind of like stream in the other half. So we can put on our lid and do a couple quick pulses first. And then turn it on. And then pour in the rest of our mixture. And then once this is a nice creamy thick consistency, which I'll use one of these, you can see it's nice and smooth. We're going to transfer the ice cream custard back into our Pyrex container so that you're not dirtying a bunch of dishes, and you're going to cover it with plastic wrap and put it into the fridge for anywhere from 2 to 4 hours. You want this mixture to become incredibly cold because you don't want to put a warm custard into your ice cream maker because then it's never going to freeze. So we can carefully pull this off. We're just going to put it back into here and then pop it into the fridge. Okay, so it's been almost 3 hours and our carrot cake custard that I have with the plastic wrap over it has been in the fridge chilling. So it depends on your ice cream maker. This ice cream maker you actually have to freeze at least 24 hours in advance. It has like a liquid in it that you freeze and then you can actually make your ice cream. So make sure you plan ahead and put this into the freezer at least a day. I usually just pop it in there a couple days before I'm gonna make ice cream. So we're gonna pour. Okay, so all of our ice cream custard is in the ice cream maker. So we are going to put the stir thing in with the lid. And then we are going to start the ice cream maker and let it go for about 20 to 25 minutes until you kind of get a really thick soft serve type of consistency. Okay, so my ice cream maker has been going for about 25 minutes. And you can see that the consistency is about like soft serve ice cream. It's not hard scoopable ice cream. Now you can certainly eat it like this. What I usually do is take off the like spinning thing that helps move the ice cream around and make sure it evenly freezes. I usually take this out, and if I'm going to be serving it pretty quickly, I'll just put some plastic wrap on this and pop it in the freezer until it's more of a scoopable type of consistency, and that takes usually less than an hour or so. If you're going to be saving this and putting it into, or like saving it for days, I would recommend putting it into some type of a sealable container and then putting it into the freezer. This way it's not just sitting in this ice cream maker. So let's pop this into the freezer. Okay, so I put the ice cream container back into the freezer for about an hour to get a little more solid. So you can see it's definitely a lot more solid than it was before. So you can scoop this out and make a nice ice cream ball. And then put it into your bowl. Now this makes about 4 servings worth of ice cream. You can certainly get more ice cream out of it if you want to have slightly smaller servings, but you can definitely still get 4 servings out of it. This would also taste great with some chopped up toasted walnuts right over the top, or even, you know, if you want to throw in any other types of nuts or coconut or something like that. So next time you're in the mood for some homemade ice cream, I hope you'll give this recipe a shot. It's definitely one of my favorites. My brother actually got me this ice cream maker a couple years ago for my birthday, and one of my favorite things to do in the summer is just experiment with different types of ingredients. Sometimes I also chop up some toasted slivered almonds so that they're a lot smaller, and just kind of throw that in during the last couple minutes while the ice cream maker is running. You could even chop up some dark chocolate chunks and put that in there. The possibilities are endless, and at the end of the day, you know that your family's eating, you know, or having a sweet treat that doesn't have a whole bunch of chemicals and stuff. It certainly is a paleo indulgence, but it's definitely a nice treat for the summertime. So I will see you guys next week for week 3 of Cold Treats Month. But hope you have a great rest of your weekend, and I'll see you next Saturday. Bye.